Jets fans, what did we do this week? Oh my God. I hope you're feeling good. I do. I really hope you're feeling good. We had a different week this week, huh? We're going to get into all that stuff. We are. I want to welcome you to episode 47. Now, interestingly, I said last week's episode was 47, but I was wrong. I lost count. And it's interesting. It's not like I lost count between, out of 46, 47. Last week was 45, and I just had to count one. So I lost it, and there it is. So this is episode 47. I might just call it episode 48 because I'm going to start losing. I'm going to get lost in here. I am. So it's episode 47 or 48 of Greenbeanjetsfan. My name is Greenbean, and I am happy that you are here. I am happy that this week we get to talk about something constructive, a little bit more innately positive because it's a victory. Imagine that. We're going to get into all that stuff. We'll talk about Zach, his return. We're going to talk about the defense, JFM, Mike LaFleur, a little bit of Matt Kavanaugh, some of the injuries. We're even going to get into draft stuff. I know Jets fans are so angry with me. Why are you talking about the draft? I don't want to talk about the draft. Well, don't talk about the draft. I know what to tell you. But we're going to get into a little bit of it, not for the reasons you think, but we're going to talk about it nonetheless. But before we do, I want to remind you of a couple little things. One is we're having the contest right here on Greenbeanjetsfan on YouTube. I'm about to get to my 1-year anniversary, December 27th, on YouTube, and I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by that date. We are cooking. We're on our way. All you have to do is sub right here and on my other channel, Full-Time Coaster Tour. Once you do that, you are entered into the contest. The contest is to win shirts just like this one. This ain't no happenstance. Oh, look at that. Hey, look at that. Wait, let me fix it. It's me. You see that? It worked. So we're going to give away a couple shirts like that. And a grand prize winner will get the shirt, but they will also get the Ultra Smooth Pack from Manscaped and some Green Bean stickers and such. If you'd like an additional entry, all you have to do is go to Greenbeanjetsfan on Instagram and follow me there. And if you want to be really nice, you can go to my Twitter, Greenbeanjetsfan, and follow me there as well. But that's all you have to do to enter. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to, fill out a form. You don't have to jump real high. You don't have to beat anybody in a contest. All you have to do is hit that button and you're in, and that will take us there. I'd like to remind you as well that we run this podcast and channel on something called the value for value system. If you feel that this show and the rest of my channel, the live streams and everything, if you feel like they add value to your life, I'd ask that you support me on Patreon. $5 a month, $10 a month, $25 a month. You get some bonus content and some things like that, access to the Discord server and some other beautiful things. Early access to different things that we release and such. If you feel like I add value to your month, $5, support me on Patreon, $5, $1, whatever it is, and I greatly appreciate it. It enables me to do the things that I do, stay up all night, hanging out with people, talking about Jets till 2 in the morning and all those kinds of things. I would greatly appreciate it. So now let's do it, huh? Let's get right into this thing. Let's talk about the game real quick. So Zach Wilson comes back. We're all so excited. He's been gone for 4 weeks. So this is the 5th week since his injury. Seems like a lifetime. Look at what we've traversed. Since then, we had the Mike effing White Hall of Fame game, right? We had the Mike White injury. We had the Josh Johnson 317-yard game. We had the Mike White fail game against Buffalo. We had the Joe Flacco 291-yard loss. Oh my God, it's been crazy. We even had a manufactured quarterback controversy that was created the week after Zach Wilson got hurt when Mike White came in and threw for 405 and a bunch of touchdowns. the beautiful, well-rounded New York media, our New York Jets beat writers in their ultimate professionalism, started asking, while the starting quarterback was injured, if they were going to commit to the second string quarterback. So we had to weather all of that. Remember? It seems like lifetimes ago, doesn't it? But so here we are. Zach Wilson comes back after the New York Jets have pulled together the 9th overall offense and the number 1 passing offense since week 8 of the NFL season. Is that not crazy? So we had high expectations for Zach Wilson coming in today, did we not? Little trepidation, but high expectations nonetheless. So we come in. Zach Wilson does not have his number 1 rusher in Michael Carter, somebody who, since Zach's been down, has really come into his own, hasn't he? He's out. His number 1 favorite receiver in the whole wide world, Corey Davis, he's out. Guess who else was out? Nobody talks about this one, but it's a big one. We like to talk about 50% of this one, but it's a big one. Everybody loves Mike LaFleur in the booth, do we not? We love it. We think it's the best move that we've ever done. Mike LaFleur, we're calling him Mike LaBooth. That's what we're calling him. Mike LaBooth has been an entirely different animal than Mike LaFleur on the sidelines. But here's what has happened since Mike LaFleur went upstairs. Another man has taken over the sideline by design. Who's that, you ask? Mr. Matt Cavanaugh. Matt Cavanaugh has taken over running the sideline interactions with all the offensive players. The quarterback coaches, Coach Zach and Mike White and Josh Johnson and Joe Flacco, whoever's playing, the quarterback coaches sit with them. The running back coach sits with the running backs. Obviously, John Benton and the offensive line go do their thing. But running it all is Matt Cavanaugh, the longtime offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, NFL quarterback, has also been with the Jets before. You may remember he was Mark Sanchez's quarterback coach in the 2009, 2010, and 11 season, if I remember correctly. So he's been a Jet before. He has been running the sideline, which enabled LaFleur to go upstairs and strictly handle the game plan. So yes, LaFleur has done a lot of great things. Really shown us that he can be creative, that his offense can be an effective NFL offense, which a lot of us didn't know if he could. We were not convinced that his offense could be something that ended up being successful for us. So Mike LaFleur goes upstairs and strictly worries about the game plan, how the game is run, the play calling, all those things. And Matt Cavanaugh has taken over, and very aggressively, quite frankly. He's very animated. He's all over the place. You always see him working, talking, looking at stuff with people. He has taken over the sideline. But guess what? He wasn't there this week. Why? I don't even know. But I did read that he was not going to be on the sideline today. So yes, Zach Wilson comes back. Ballyhoo! We're all psyched for Zach Wilson to come back, but he's without his number 1 rusher, his number 1 wide receiver. He doesn't even have Denzel Mims, who's on the COVID protocol, who usually would step up and replace Corey Davis. He's not there either. But on top of it all, he's without the guy who has been running the sideline since LaFleur has gone upstairs. And guys, these are all big things. So yes, Zach came back. The offense has looked great. Elijah Moore has come alive. Ty Johnson has done some great things throughout the past few weeks. We were without some really key components. So what did Zach look like? Did he come out? We were all talking about, if he just throws for 250, 2 touchdowns, no picks, I don't care, win or loss, I'm going to be happy, right? A lot of us were in that mold. Some a tick or two more, 275, I'm okay with 240, whatever it is. But we were all kind of in that zone. And he comes out, and he looks like the worst quarterback I had ever seen. Did he not? He was reminiscent of the Bubby Brister year. Do you guys remember that? And why do I say Bubby Brister? You already know. If you've been around a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the exact play I'm talking about. And you may even know the name of the player I'm talking about. Do you remember? Yell it out. Yell it out. There it is. I heard it. Who was it? Gitmo Bob? Is that who said it? Phil? One of you guys said it. A linebacker, Mills, received an errant shuffle pass from Bubby Brister right into his hands. And today we got to see Zach Wilson do the same thing. Now, why did that play happen? Why did it happen? Because Zach and his teammates are not on the same page yet. They need time to click again. We can minimize it all we want. But these players that we're watching, our offensive players, the Ty Johnsons, the Michael Carters, the Elijah Moores, the Jamison Crowders, Keelan Coles, all these guys, our offensive line, they have played with 4 quarterbacks this year and 4 over the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's not easy. It's not easy to all of a sudden be in sync with everyone, okay? So when you saw Ty Johnson, he was ready to receive the pass from Zach. It looked like Zach was going to take off, so he turned around to block or something, and Zach Wilson threw it into his back, and skiddly-doo, Bubby Brister, okay? So that's how that went. Zach looked terrible. There was one point where he was 1 for 6 for 5 yards, and that was like into the second quarter kind of thing. So it was ugly, guys. In total, Zach threw 14 completions and 24 attempts for a whopping $145, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Now, I think that's unfair. Don't you think that's unfair? Why do these stats that I look at remove very important pieces? Maybe if you talk to Frankie from Flatbush, he likes to include these types of things, and I support it 100%. Zach Wilson did have a touchdown. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he did run in a touchdown. So when it all boils down, Zach Wilson had 14 completions on 24 attempts with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He also had 3 yards rushing, which was the touchdown. Fantastic. Now, the last drive of the first half is when Zach started to settle down. Anyone can see it. Now, we were all upset. We're all disappointed, right? Of course we are. We're all disappointed. We're like, what the hell's going on? We've seen 300 yards a week from all kinds of different quarterbacks. They're signing guys, bringing them in. They're elevating guys from the practice squad. Everybody's throwing for 3 bills. Zach Wilson comes in. He's supposed to be our starting quarterback, and he can't hit a screen. He can't hit a quick slant. He can't hit anything. Why? Is it because he sucks? If you listen to the chats or Jet Twitter or Jetnation or any of these places that you go to communicate with other Jets fans, yes, that's what you would have gathered. He sucks. If you weren't watching the game, you would have thought this is the worst quarterback you ever saw, and for good reason. But he was amped. Okay, he was excited. A little too much, a little too jumpy, too much energy, a lot of thinking in his head. I got to be good. I have a lot of pressure on me. And what he did was he settled down. He never became excellent. I don't want to get you there. But he settled down and he looked okay. The running game got going. The offensive line solidified. And Zach Wilson started to be able to hit some things. And he threw for $145. And he ran in for a touchdown. And all is fine. Why? Because we won. Now, is it Zach Wilson and the offense why we won? No, it's not. It's the defense. It's just such an interesting thing. If you guys recall, the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, we were all saying something very interesting, which is I'm surprised about how well our defense is playing. We have all rookies back there. We started 2 rookie linebackers. We started 2 rookie cornerbacks. We started a second-year cornerback. Our starting safety went down in like the first 5 minutes of play. We lost Carl Lawson. We lost Vinny Curry. We lost Jared Davis. We lost Ronald Blair. So we were not expecting much from our defense. But what happened? All of a sudden, the defense was playing stout, and the offense could not get out of their own way for those first few games. Then what happens? Zach gets hurt. In the New England game, the offense climbs out of the dark, starts lighting up the world, and the defense is letting up 54, 45, 45, 30. Like that's even in the win. We let up 30 points. So it was all of a sudden it flipped. The offense was throwing 300 yards, 100 yards rushing. We were at 400 yards a game of offense. Even more. The one game we had 600 yards of offense. Our offense looks really great, and our defense can't stop a nosebleed. Today, very interestingly, there's Zach Wilson trotted back on the field. The offense can't do anything, and the defense comes alive. Guys like John Franklin Myers. John Franklin Myers had a comeback day, okay? Because as we all know, he was doing great. Jets gave him an extension, and he was like, I'm going to take a breather. That's what it seemed like, right? It's not accurate, but he definitely didn't have the stats you would like to see after receiving $13.5 million a year, $30 million guaranteed kind of thing. You wanted to see JFM come out and dominate, and we haven't seen that. So today, officially, he's back, man. John Franklin Myers had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, a tip interception with a nice run back attached to it. Dude, that's a day. John Franklin Myers was all over the place. Quinnen Williams, who, interestingly, a lot of Jets fans don't know how to take Quinnen Williams. Is he great? Is he a disappointment? Is this guy a bust? We don't really know. But one thing I can say with Quinnen Williams is this. His impact on the game is significantly more timely than guys like Jamal Adams. Let's look at our last few sack leaders, right? Jamal Adams had 6.5. We had Jordan Jenkins with 7. We had Leo had 7 the one year. So we had like 7, 8. I think Jordan Jenkins might have had 8 sacks the one year. But they're the kinds of sacks that don't really impact much, right? First down, in the middle of the second quarter. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's a good play, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't have, real world impact on the moment, on the game. Quinnen Williams, on the other hand, seems to have a knack for coming up big when you need someone to come up big. He did it with that fourth quarter stand against Cincinnati. I'm sorry, the fourth down stand, the fourth down goal line stand. Huge play. Set the tone for the rest of the game. Today he did the same thing. It was a very, very important play on fourth down. Quinnen Williams comes up big and sacks Tyrod Taylor in a very similar fashion, man. When he wants to get there, he gets there. And once he's got his hand on you, very rarely does anybody get away. I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want to jinx that. But he gets it, and he ain't letting go, and he's so strong that guys go down just by him having their shirt. So Quinnen Williams came up big today. Now, interestingly, again, his brother led us in tackles. 4 straight up tackles, 4 solo tackles, and 3 assists with a sack and a tackle for a loss as well. Quincy Williams, I'm going to say, pretty soon we're going to start calling Quinnen Quincy's brother. That guy, it comes down to this. Now, he might not be the most talented guy on the field. There might be stronger pedigree, more athleticism. That might be. But the guy plays at 100% effort at all times. I'm telling you, if I was Saleh, I would hold Quincy Williams out front and say, this is exactly how I want you to play. If you're not playing this hard, then you're not giving the team 100%. That's the way you want to see your guys play. And having this guy around is a very positive aspect for young guys on the team. Quincy Williams is going at 100 miles an hour all day long, and it's helping. He had 15 tackles last week. He had 4 tackles, 3 assists, a tackle for a loss, and a sack today. And again, man, the guy's running around. So players like that, JFM, Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams, we see these guys have an impact. Ronald Blair had a sack today. Elijah Riley, Bryce Hall, guys came up big. Now, our defense wasn't perfect, okay? But the truth is they didn't give up a second half point, and they only gave up 14 in the whole game. Okay? Now, it's the Texans. We know it's the Texans. Everybody says, yeah, they're a 2-8 team, blah, blah, blah. But what about us? We were a 2-8 team. Does anybody remember that? It's like you can't run before you walk, right? Now, the 2 teams that we beat were at home, and they were playoff teams. What does that make you think? What is the reality of that one? You know what those are, right? Those are what we call trap games. So it's not like the Jets are so good that we can beat the Cincinnati Bengals or the Tennessee Titans whenever we want. It's how we caught them, when we caught them, and the way things fell. Great games, great wins. But the truth is that this was probably the most realistically hard-fought road win that we've had all year. This is the type of game we need to win to prove we are the best of the worst. You understand? Like, we can't expect to go from 2-14 Adam Gase debacle, new quarterback, new staff, lots of rookies, injuries up and down the field. We can't expect to go from there to playoffs and somehow winning the AFC East. It doesn't work like that. Can it? Sure. You get Mangenius, 10-6. The Todd Bowles, 10-6. Great. Those happen, but they're fleeting. What we're doing right now is we're building a foundation and we're slowly working our way up. Winning today is a major indicator that we're on an upward trajectory. Now, we did this while our quarterback was getting his feet underneath him again. Almost got his face ripped off. You see that play? At least they called the damn penalty for once. Oh my God. If I almost got nervous that there wouldn't be a penalty, but they came in fast. 2 flags came in fast, thankfully. They almost ripped his head off. That's the kind of play the guy should have been ejected, honestly. He grabbed his face mask and pulled his neck all the way around and ripped his helmet off. And then he does this. And he goes, hey man, I swear I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And these are the things. Somebody said in the Jetnation live stream chat today, when Zach gets hit, he gets hit, man. Like, I don't think anybody absorbs the punishment quite the way Zach Wilson does. We all know about the Patriots game when they dove at his knee. Remember week 1 when those 2 guys literally broke through the line and smashed him to the ground. No flags ever. Today, the only reason they threw a flag is because it was so blatantly obvious that they had to. But don't you find it interesting, sort of a head scratcher, that if somebody touches their face mask, just a little touch, they get a 15-yard penalty. The guy rips his helmet off, throws it 100 feet in the air, and that's a 15-yard penalty. Shouldn't there be some discrepancy? Some distinction? I know. We don't have 5-yard face masks anymore. And I'm not necessarily against all that, but what we saw today was egregious. So don't forget, Zach Wilson is weathering all that sort of stuff too, man. So the fact that he only threw for $145, is it disappointing? Yes. But did he settle down? Yes. Did he look better as the game went on? Yes. And that's what we have to key on. So what does this mean for us? What does this game mean? Does it mean we're great? That we're going to win out? Yes. Yes, it does. No, it's like, I don't think it means that, right? But does it mean nothing? And I have to tell you the answer is no. This game is a big one. Again, these are our peers. This is another 2-8 team that has found a way to beat good teams. Look at last week. They made Ryan Tannehill throw 4 interceptions. They had 5 total turnovers, and they beat the Titans just like we did. This is a team that has found a way to play well and win. We have found a way to play well and win at times. We needed to beat them. We were on the road. This is our first road victory of the year, and we still have, how many games left do we have? We still have 6 games. So hypothetically, if we were to win those 6 games, we would be 9-8 on the year. Now, is that happening? No. Can it? Sure. And here's the thing. The second half of the season, with this young team starting to put it together, starting to understand the nuances of the systems that we're running. Guys like Michael Carter II, who got injured today, but I did see him running off the field at the end, so I don't have too much concern, but we'll see how that one plays out. Guys like Bryce Hall, Quincy Williams, guys like Quinnen, JFM. Okay, these guys, this is their first year in the system on offense. Guys like Elijah Moore, okay, AVT, those types of guys. These are our young core, and they're starting to click as the season progressed, which is exactly what we wanted to see. So what it means, guys, is that we're putting it together. We needed to win this game in order for progress to be claimed. Now, if Zach threw for 350 and we lost by a point, we technically could still claim progress, right? So that would be okay. But the fact that so many Jets fans are disappointed by the loss, guys, this is the type of game that we should be expecting to see. And the fact that we came out and won it, again, second half shutout, 18 unanswered points after being down 14-3 with a complete debacle of the first half up until the very end. We climbed out of it, man. Like, you throw it in the towel. People were saying we should draft a quarterback next year and, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. We have to settle down. This is his first game back in 5 weeks. He doesn't have his leading rusher. He doesn't have his leading receiver. He doesn't have the coach running the sideline. Now he has his new quarterback coach, which is great. I'm sure that helped. But we have to remember this stuff. What we saw was a guy who came out amped, couldn't seem to settle down, way in his head, got relaxed, started to make some plays, ran in the touchdown, looked pretty good. Those passes to Elijah Moore, to Berrios, they were good passes, nice and settled, good looks, nice reads, well thrown, good catch. So we started to see it happen. 18 unanswered points. Defense pitched a shutout in the second half. We got 2-point conversions. There was a lot going on today. A lot going on. So what we can make out of this game is this. We are progressing. Just like we talked about this team in the beginning of the year, what we needed this team to do and to be, we needed to see progress. Now, it's a real bummer that guys like Eccles and Sherwood and Becton, these guys are out. And that's really unfortunate because now they're going to be a step behind. We need to see our young guys learning at the same time, taking their lumps at the same time, making their mistakes at the same time. So when we bring in the next 10 draft picks or however many we finagle and trade and all that, when we bring in the next batch of young guys, that there's an established core that understand the ins and outs of what we're trying to do here. This year we had almost none of that. Almost none. Everybody was learning at the same time. So that's what we're looking for, but we still have a nice batch. Bryce Hall, Michael Carter II, Michael Carter, AVT, Elijah Moore, all these guys. Jason Pinnock, who's having a rough go. Javelin Guidry, okay? We have all these young guys that are learning at the same time, and they're progressing. Dude, the defense pitched a shutout to Tyrod Taylor, who knows how to score. Are they the best? No. They're 2-8. Well, they're 2-9 now. And we're 3-8. Already eclipsing our record from last year. Blew it out of the water. We already have one more victory than the entirety of last year. And I will remind you, last year at this time in the season, we were 0-11. So now we're 3-8. If you guys can't see progress, I don't know where you're looking. All right? So that's the key. This is the step that we needed to take. The Titans game was great. The Cincy game was great. Today was the first real victory that means something as far as I'm concerned. This was our peers. These are the teams that we're fighting around the bottom for to take those steps up and become the top of the bottom before you can be the bottom of the top. You understand? Now let's take a look at the rest of our schedule quickly and see what we think. What can we do? Are we going to win some of these games realistically? What do we think our record's going to be here? So we just beat the Texans today. Next week we're going to play the Eagles at home, which is interesting because as you may know, the Jets have never beaten the Philadelphia Eagles ever in the regular season. Isn't that something? So maybe we can have an historic season where the Jets finally beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are reeling. They're able to play well too, man. But they're on the bottom end of this thing as well. But again, they have played good football. Thinking that we're just going to beat them would be a mistake. But thinking that we're supposed to lose, that's not accurate either. It's another tough game that we can win. And if we do, it'll be historic. After the Eagles, we have the Saints coming into town. They just got their faces kicked in today. Buffalo beat the living hell out of the Saints today. It wasn't even funny. That was 31-6. That's the kind of stuff we were seeing. Remember? Telling you, 21-14, us is better than 31-6 them. And that's where we're coming from, guys. Don't forget, we've been shut out this season. We've only had a field goal this season. We've had entire weeks without scoring a first quarter point. All those types of things. That's what we're climbing out of here. So it's important to remember that. In order to identify progress properly, you have to know where you started. That's so key. Now, we started low. Remember, we went weeks without scoring a first quarter point. We had like 6 first half points for the whole first 6 weeks of the season or something like that. So after the Saints, we have the Dolphins again in Miami. They're playing well. They put up 33 points and took care of the Panthers for us today. Not that I had a good time rooting for it, because I don't, but the win by Miami helps us, so there it is. Then we play the Jaguars. Can we beat the Jags? Yeah. I don't know about Miami. I think we can. Absolutely. We played them well. Now we're going down to their house. We'll see. But that could easily be a loss as well. The Jaguars, they play great at times, and they play terrible at times. So we'll see how that one. That's a winnable game as well. Then we got the Bucks. Unless they're resting starters and all that jazz, they're probably going to come down and kick a mud hole in our ass. And that might be what it is. That might be what we're watching. Doesn't mean we suck if we lose to them. You know what I mean? And then we wrap up the season with another round at the Bills. And again, if they're resting starters, maybe we'll win. If we win out, we end up getting 9 wins. Let's say we win half of them. So there's 6 games. Let's say we win 3, and we end up being 6-11. That's 3 times the record that we had last year, with a rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie defensive coordinator, rookie quarterback, more rookies scattered around our starting lineup than any other team in the league. And on and on and on. The injuries, Greg Knapp, on and on and on. If we can settle down and get 6 wins out of this season, even 6 wins out of the season, guys, it's a success. It's a success. We need to allow ourselves to feel good. Now, no, we didn't blow the doors off the place. No, Zach Wilson did not look particularly good today, but he did settle down. The offense did come alive. We put up 21 points, guys. We did get a 2-point conversion. We drove down the field. We were able to eat the clock. If Matt Amendola could make a friggin' field goal, it would have been 24. Doesn't that look a little better, huh? So I think the main thing that we should take out of this week is that progress is taking place, and this sets us up to have an interesting final chunk of the season. Now, how does that affect what a lot of people are really struggling with here? The draft picks. How does that affect the draft picks? Well, clearly, if you win games, you're not going to be you're going to be further and further from the front of the draft. Now, last week, for a minute there, we had the 2nd and 5th overall picks because of Seattle. When I'm recording this, I don't know what Seattle did yet. Hopefully they lose. That's what I want to be talking about. But then we had the 2nd and 6th overall pick with the large chunk of this week. That's pretty good. And that can be exciting. You can be talking about guys literally and realistically like Kyle Hamilton, Aiden Hutchinson. If you came out of this draft with those 2 guys, that would be incredible. Some guys don't want a safety. Great. You want to take Aiden Hutchinson and Tyler Linderbaum. Great. But here's the thing. As we win games, which, again, I think we're going to split. I think that we'll probably win half of our remaining 6. That's what I think. So that'll put us at 6-11. We're probably going to be 10, maybe, something like that. 8, 10, depending on the rest of the league, right? If the Detroit Lions can figure out a way to win, if the Texans can figure out a way to win, and the Jags and Eagles and so forth. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Now, if we do win more games and we end up pushing ourselves out of the top 10, which probably takes guys like Kyle Hamilton, Aiden Hutchinson, who's everybody's darling this week, and for good reason. You see how he played this last week? 3 sacks, dominating performance. And he's an animal. And this is his 2nd good year. So people liking Aiden Hutchinson is well-founded. And he's the exact type of guy that you would want. Relentless motor, high character, done it more than 1 season, all that stuff. So it'd be great. So now here we are, and we start winning games which a lot of people could label as meaningless. They could be seen as meaningless games, right? And we're going to lose out on blue chip prospects like Kyle Hamilton, like Aiden Hutchinson, like Evan Neal, if that's the way you want to go, or Stingley. All those guys are going to be gone if you're at 10. So why win these games? Why are we winning these games? I've seen it. I've seen people talking about it today. Here's the thing. You guys know me by now, probably. I'm a big draft Nick. I'm paying attention to the draft and the prospects all year long. I love it. I love it. I love trading and talking about trading and who we're going to get and parlaying that guy into this thing. And I love it. Having the draft picks up high gives me a lot of stuff to talk about and ponder. And I like that. It's enjoyable to me. But let me tell you this. If Zach Wilson and the New York Jets found a way to win more of these games and push us out of the top 10 because they're playing well, that trumps every single draft hope that you could possibly have. It's the most important thing. This isn't last year's team. This isn't Chris Herndon and Frank Gore and all these guys that were never going to be here. A walking dead coach. Dowell Loggins, all that stuff, man. That's not what we're talking about here. Last year, winning any games was a fool's errand. Oh, it's good for the future. No, it isn't. None of these guys are even going to be here. Only this year's draft class. That's it. Now we're talking about a completely different thing. We have a batch of second-year players, and we have a whole batch of first-year rookies. Them figuring out a way to win and absorb this system on defense, on offense, on special teams, the whole team aspect, them figuring out a way to absorb this stuff and apply it to success, the most important thing. In particular, one Zach Wilson. If that guy figures out a way to play calm, play efficient, we don't need the guy, way go run and throwing. We don't need that. It's fun. I love it, but we don't need that. We need a guy that knows how to take what the defense can give him, and clearly that is an obstacle for him because he's used to playing hero ball with 7 seconds of time, pass protection, right? That's what he's used to. Let's call it what it is. That was my main concern with Zach Wilson when we were drafting him. We have never seen him perform all that well under significant pressure, consistent pressure. We haven't. That was the number one knock. He's got everything you want. But we don't know how he's going to react with pressure. Well, now we know what Zach Wilson looks like with pressure, and he's going to have to overcome it. So if he starts to do just that like he did in the second half of this game, if he can start to be an efficient quarterback, hit the guys that are open, properly go through his progressions, and get the ball to his playmakers, that trumps every single draft hope you could possibly have. And let me tell you, you'll find good guys at number 10. You'll get Karlaftis. You'll get Sauce Gardner. Whoever it is, whatever it is, there's going to be plenty of talent there, guys. Zach Wilson and this young core learning how to win is the best thing that we could possibly do. So that's what I'm rooting for. The consolation prize is if we do lose, we get the high draft pick, and that's all what it is. But we should all be rooting for wins throughout this season. It's important. These are the guys we're building with. These are the guys that are a part of our foundation. Them starting to feel like they're onto something, we got the players here, man. We're winners. We did it. We overcame the adversity here, and we came out the other end shiny and new. God forbid they win out and make the playoffs. Could you imagine? Now, I don't think that's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not thinking any of that stuff. But if we do, that would be something now, wouldn't it? So what do you think, guys? Are you not able to find a way to be happy about this win? Because, guys, this is what this season is about. It's not about throwing up, 400 yards a game. That's not what this season's about. This is about system implementation. That's what it is. It's about growth. It's about progress. It's about seeing these guys develop before our eyes. That's what it is. If we can start to see that, which we just might be right now, they figured out a way to win, guys. We could have very easily lost this game. You know it. I know it. It's the best thing that could happen to us. Draft picks be damned. And that's why we just need Seattle and the Panthers to lose as many games as we want. Imagine that. Imagine the Jets flip and end up winning 8-9 games and have the 15th pick and Seattle gives us a top 5. Woo! Wait, wouldn't that be good? Oh, that'd be the goods. So, there you have it. What do you guys think about this Jets team? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Am I seeing an illusion here? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. I want to remind you about the contest we're having. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this very video and to this very channel and Full-Time Coaster Tour. In addition, you will automatically be entered in the contest. And guys, I also want to remind you, if you need sports memorabilia this Christmas season, the link is right in the top of my description. Takes you directly to the Jets page. Any purchases there benefit the channel. And if you spend more than $50, you get free shipping. What's better than that this Christmas season or holiday season? Speaking of holidays, I want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah. That began tonight. So whatever holiday you're celebrating, sports memorabilia is the way to go. Don't forget to check out the link. Again, it all helps the channel. And value for value, you can support me on Patreon. I would greatly appreciate it. That all said, I hope you're having a good night. Enjoy the game. Have a great week, Jetnation. And as always, go Jets.